Well, it's a great honor for me today to introduce one of my dearest friends, a woman I've known for many years who is not only a close and dear friend, but also one of my great teachers. I met Rocio Alarcon, I think it's been at least 15, maybe even longer years ago. I'd heard about her. I heard about this remarkable woman who was so knowledgeable about the plants of the rainforest and also the people, the caretakers of those plants. And I heard that she was, just a wonderful emissary for the plants of the rainforest. And for one of our early international herb symposiums, I wrote to her. And luckily for all of us in North America, she accepted that invitation and came. And I think it was love at first sight, which it is for most people who meet her. She's one of the most gracious, intelligent, wise people that I know on the planet, to be quite honest, and an incredible healer. I've watched her in action. In fact, I've traveled with her many times to Ecuadorian jungle and gone with her with groups of people to visit the indigenous people of the rainforest. And I watched the way that she interacts with them and works with them, and also her deep connection to the plant. So it's a great honor to introduce you to Rocio Alarcon, my teacher, my friend, and my healer as well. So Rocio, whatever got you into this? How did you find and follow this path of the green way, the green nations?
Thank you very much, Rosemary, my sister. I really appreciate, and you are my mentor, really. How I found this path is through my ancestry. My grandpas and grannies and great grandpas, they work with the land. They work in the Andes Mountains and living in those little towns, and they love plants. Plants were the answer for poverty, the answer for diseases, and the answer to be happy. And at the same time, plants, food is your medicine.
Yeah.
So that my path began at that period, when probably with my roots in the Andes Mountains, and after growing very close with my granny. Yeah. She was a curandero that you call healer.
Yeah. Well, I also know that you come from a very powerful lineage of women, and that in your family right now there are 5 powerful women, starting with your granddaughter, and then your mother, right, who's still living with you. Actually, you live with your mom, and so I always think of that, and it just runs right through. Your daughter is also following closely in your footsteps, and that little girl, I'm sure, is as well.
Yes, I think that the way how we learn about plants is living in community. The families need to live in communities to receive the legacy of the plants uses and how to use, how to prepare, how you keep in contact with these great spirits of the plants. It's a big school that you can create into the family, living together.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, it's something that's so missing in our cultures. In fact, people send their children out very young, and when they come back, it's seen as a problem. But in your family, actually, you've lived with your mother, and your daughters live with you, and your granddaughters live with you, and it's, it's like a very powerful unit. So, yeah. So what took you down into the rainforest? Because you're from the mountains, right? Your family is from the mountains.
Yes. My grandfather, he went into the tropical regions. He wanted to learn about land and sugar cane and this type of products. So he was bringing to the the highland the rich trees of the quinoa. And he was planted, and we keep in the garden of my granny. Oh. So I think that I received that, I didn't know my grandfather, but I received is in the blood. And I wanted to learn that rich information about tropical region. Yes, and I was growing during my holidays. I spent time in little tropical regions in the country and learning with the people there and what type of fruits they were eating. And I was collecting and saving in my little baggages. And coming back to the city to continue studying. So that was the beginning. And after, when I finished my university, my career, I need to write my dissertation. So that was a great opportunity. I went into the Amazon region. Yes, the paradise. And that changed my life forever. I met with incredible healers. They were my teachers. And I need to be very honest. The university gave me the political way to be a professional. But the healers, they were my tutors. They were my spirit's tutors, and at the same time, they create my path in the way of learning the shamanic activities.
Yeah, I can see how that's transformed your life and then how you transform other people's lives from the teachings that have been passed down. Knowing you for so long and just watching that transformation has been powerful. And I've actually, I've heard, but I've also seen with my own eyes the wonderful relationship you have with the plants and how in praying to them and speaking to them, you can take a bundle of plants and wash somebody with them and see powerful physical healings as well as spiritual. Can you share a little bit about how you use the limpia and the herbal baths and some of the things that you've seen happen from that?
It is, I think that in my view, everybody in each nation should have this type of treatment. We don't have choice because we are living in very stressful type of moment.
Yeah.
And what I learned, the first healing ceremony, I will say, was the limpia. We call the limpia, which means in English cleansing.
Cleansing?
Cleansing, yes. Cleansing the body, but we are not cleansing in the physical way. We are cleansing in the emotional side. And for people who believe in the spirits, of course, we keep in contact with that incredible energy of the plants. In the physical way, you can feel the smell of these aromatic plants that we can use. We collect and prepare a fund with aromatic plants. When you smell that, you feel your mood, you change your mood, you feel that energy coming into the limbic system, into the brain.
Oh, the limbic system.
Yes, which is the center of this incredible memory of the smells and scents, really.
Yes, yeah.
And that is the way. And I was reading some articles about the medicine in the future for people who lost the sense and keep only the nose to keep in contact with the external world. So using the smell, some perfumes, some essential oils coming from the plants, and why not this beautiful fun that we can prepare and clean the body of the people. Yeah. That was the first lesson of my granny.
Yeah, I know one time when my husband, Robert, who you're very close friends with, Robert studied with you and worked with you in the Amazon for, I think, a couple winters. He was there.
Fantastic.
And you came to visit us one time, and Robert had been having a lot of gastrointestinal problems from I think, bad energy. It wasn't just physical. And I'd, of course, given him every herbal remedy that I knew, and he talked to different herbalists, and he'd gone to see a naturopath, and then went to the medical doctor, kind of followed that path of trying to figure out what this problem was that had continued to irritate him for up to about a year and a half, and you came to visit us, and you looked at him and you immediately said, oh, there's a bad spirit in you. And you just taking the limpia and the bath and washing him and watching the water turn black with that black energy. And when you were done, it was about a 2-hour treatment. And when you were finished, I mean, really his stomach was almost completely better. I mean, I would say it was completely better. He had no more problems. And then a few months went by and he started noticing again, and we were visiting us again, you did another cleansing, and then he's had no problem since. So that's a wonderful example of how this works, where you're actually working on the physical problems through the emotions and the feelings. And
we believe that the beginning of the disease are in the emotional side, in the spiritual side, and it's the last level, the physical body. So we should clean first the emotions and the physical bodies. Yeah. And after that, you can manage the physical. And the plants, they are quite incredible medicine for us working in that way.
Yeah. Why do you think that? I mean, I know why that is, but I want to hear, why do you think that is?
Well, plants have spirits, have energies, and we can exchange energies. Yeah. And you can see, if we go back to the history of the humanity, we are not able to live without plants. Yeah. If we eat chocolate, for example, that changes our feelings immediately, and people feel very energetic. And you can see the amount of people with depression in all over the planet. Yeah. Is that a physical disease? Yeah. I'm sorry, but I think that we need to clean the emotional level, the spiritual level, and after, things will adjust in the physical body. Yeah. And plants are our doctors.
Yeah, it's so true. Yes. Are you finding, Rocio, when you're teaching these lessons to people that they're receptive? Are they are they ready and open for hearing this? Are you seeing the changes that these teachings bring?
Well, depending the area where you are living. In some, well, I will say that living from my lovely country and living in another environment, I need to adjust to that culture. But I can see that in all cultures, people use plants and love plants and care plants. So why we are not able to use them?
Uh-huh.
And in the beginning could be difficult, but after that, when they see how they are feeling after some difficulties, yes, people open the heart for the plants.
Yeah.
So we don't need to have a big forums of discussion or talking about why this medicine and why not this medicine. We have proofs, we can show the benefits of the plants.
Yeah.
That is the story of the humanity.
Yeah.
Many, many plants save lives in all over the world.
Yeah, so true, yeah. I know one of your favorite plants is you have many favorite. I know you work with some of the spirit being plants that really directly open our hearts to spirit and the strong medicines. And one of those has been the chocolate. I know that you've been using chocolate a lot for massaging and eating. And would you speak about that just a little?
Yes.
Your relationship with chocolate?
Well, chocolate is one of the incredible plants. And we can see the simple little tree with this beautiful yellow, sweet and aromatic fruit.
Sensuous fruit.
Yes, just call your attention.
Yeah.
And after, when we prepare the paste, the pure paste, no sugar, no milk, you can receive the benefits. We prepare a paste. Well, it's a very old recipe of my granny. And you have two paths for chocolate. One is when you want to increase your level of energy in the body. What is the meaning of energy? Is that a quality that humans can have to walk, to be happy, to work, to enjoy life, and to move. Because if you don't move, probably you are dead. Yeah. So that is, in the other level, you can use chocolate to prevent some conditions. And so now I'm learning, I remember the recipes of my granny and her techniques to massage the entire body and to prevent conditions. Cleaning, especially breasts in women, it's very important to clean. How many times we clean our breast with plants? We lost that knowledge. So we can use simple paste of chocolate with other oils and receive a massage in the breast. In case of boys, with all this testicular cancer, which is very scary, the boys need to massage these areas, cleaning the toxicities that we can collect. But chocolate can help us because it is very easy to go into the bloodstream. Has a lot of chemical components, flavonoids, well, the slang of the chemistry, but have incredible components that trigger our endorphins and make us feel happy and clean our body.
I think that's in part, I think that's in part why chocolate has become so immensely popular around the world, aside from the fact that it tastes so good. It's oftentimes when a plant is really needed by cultures, you see it stepping forward with its medicine, so we see a plant like chocolate right now is everywhere, it's always been somewhat popular, but it's almost like just increased in popularity. And also an herb like kava, where everybody's so anxious and stressed out, and kava is kind of the herb of choice right now, or rhodiola. So, and we always think we're discovering them, or that we're breeding them forward, but I always feel it's really coming from the plants, or they're like stepping forward to say, we're here, we can help, and the wise people turn and acknowledge that, So what are some of the other great plants from the rainforest region that are essential to your work and that you have relationships with?
Well, there are, thinking in my country and living in tropical regions, my country has let's say 20,000 different species of plants. And the size is the same size of Colorado state. So you can imagine, we are very lucky, it's the hot spot of biodiversity. How these local people, different tribes, different communities living there can discover the qualities of these plants.
How do you think they did?
Yes, we have two paths. One is the local theory, they say God or the divine energy, the spirits, they call Sachawarmi, they call Sacha spirits, which means spirits of the forest. They give us the wisdom.
Yeah.
These special plants, the master plants, give us the wisdom to learn about this incredible paradise of plants. And the other, of course, is scientific theories, which both are scientific theories.
Yes, they
but
are.
we are walking in the middle of this different information.
Yeah.
But we can see the benefit of the plants and how plants are very attached to the people.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if they work like gardeners, curanderos or healers, shamans, herbalists,
That's right.
whatever is the name, but we are humans at the end and we use the plants.
Yeah.
We have these magnificent plants that we use into the theater each day in operations. Coming from the tropical region, I just love this plant. It's curare, condodendron.
Yes.
Yes, how the people in the jungle, they prepare in the scientific way, step by step, how to obtain the precious liquid coming from this such an incredible plant. And after we are using in the theater, each day in operations, and we don't think about the value of the plants. So that is one of the marvelous plants that I love in the forest.
Yeah. And you have a really sacred relationship with ayahuasca as well. If you,
Ayahuasca is one of the plants that really is the master plant. And I need to say that really ayahuasca is the master, but never ever work in its own. They teach us to work in community.
That's so beautiful.
Because use other plants to react into the body
Yeah.
and clean the body. It's not the vision of how fun we can stay with ayahuasca. It's the real power to clean the liver, to clean the stomach, and to clean all the toxicity into the body. But it's the combination.
Yeah.
How between 20,000 different plants the people discover combining this vine with these other trees can produce an incredible effects in two ways: in the physical body, cleaning the body, and in the shamanic path to see the cosmic spirits that heal people. It's so incredible.
It's incredible. I'm sure it goes back to the plants letting the people know, And then you have people who I think I always say they're born with more chlorophyll in their blood, They have a special green gene, and it's like everybody born on the planet has special gifts, and there's some people I think that come from a long lineage of that green gene. Maybe they were planted here in the beginning to be caretakers of the garden, and they have a special relationship. Not that anybody can't have that, but I think, like you were saying, in your family, it's sort of planted in your lineage. It's passed down through the bones or the bloods of the ancestors. So I'm sure that there were people who could actually hear those plants, the messages from them better, And then, like you say, also some of it is, it's not all trial and error, but some of it is you find you mix things together and you find this one works really great, So there's a little bit, it's both, like you say, that scientific path as well as the shamanic scientific path, they both play into that consciousness. I did want to ask you, I know in North America there's numbers of communities that have quote unquote ayahuasca shamans, or people who go down and study in the jungle and then come back and offer the ceremonies. And I know that it's sort of a blanket response to ask you this, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are about that, of bringing that plant medicine out of the context of its habitat into a different habitat and offering it. I'm just curious what you feel about that.
Yes, well, for me it was quite new when I came to visit the first world, as I called. People were completely anxious to learn about different plants and have their own experiences, I would say. I think that the society break in the story of the humanity, break the boundaries of the plants. And we have good examples like tobacco.
Okay.
It was a sacred plant.
Yeah.
And break the boundaries, and we are going into the excessive of uses without any respect is when the problem is coming.
Yeah.
People who want to learn, well done, because at the same time, these plants are in danger. Not for the landscape, but in danger to be used because the problems into the different societies. So it is important to learn, but to learn in the way of healing.
Yes.
To learn in the way to keep in contact with the divine energy and with the cosmic areas. Because if we don't do it that way, probably we are doing a damage into the plant, the people who use for healing ceremonies, and the people who is ingesting without any respect or maybe any experience.
Yes.
And that happens with all the medicines around the world.
Yeah.
I will say that people is taking so much antidepressants.
Yeah, antidepressants, yes.
And it's the same, so much intoxicating the body.
Yeah.
So we need to be very careful in the way how people can use, and at the same time, how the political people can rule the uses of these plants. It is a very hot potato, but I'm coming, from a family and from a country where it's part of our culture to use master plants.
Yeah.
And for us, it's not a criminal action.
Yeah.
For us, it's the path of healing people. So we need to keep that in the mind, and we need to respect cultures, how they use, how they act, and sometimes why no? We need to save the knowledge, just keep writing and saving this ancestral knowledge that saved lives during the history of the humanity.
Yeah. Rocio, you need to write a book, you know that? Your story, I mean, it's a remarkable story, and then your knowledge, the knowledge which really represents the knowledge of the rainforest and the people there. You have a very amazing relationship. I've watched you in communication with these people and how much they love you. And I know that you've had to really fight down there for the people and for their rights and for the land and against the oil companies. It's pretty remarkable. You have a center down in the rainforest that's very important to the people there, the Amoy Center. Could you speak about that?
Well, it was a dream when we were young. A group of people, a group of students of the university, we had many dreams, and one of my dreams was save the forest for future generations.
Yeah.
Well, we were young at that period, and here we are. And we keep the center, and that is the place where all the communities, doesn't matter if they are local communities or external communities, the center is for people from all over the world who wants to visit the area, adore the tropical forest, adore people, but at the same time talk about problems that we are facing each day in our societies.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't have time to talk about these problems.
Yeah.
The health problems, political problems. So that is a neutral island in the middle of the forest to talk about situations and to find the path for the future. So Yamoe, it's the name of the harpy eagle.
Okay.
It is in the native Guarani name, Yamoe. And that was the land of the Guaranis long time ago. Still they have part of that land, but they were losing that areas, and we decided to save that piece of forest, and we bought that piece of forest, which now we create a special space for all type of people.
Oh, beautiful.
No races, no religion, no political thoughts, just the way to find solutions for problems or to create new ideas.
Are you finding that the different tribal people down there, because I know there is some, they have their, you know, like most families and most tribes, they have, so are you finding that they're responding to this idea of coming to this central place and sharing, and has that been difficult to have happen, or?
At the beginning, yes, because we need to accept, not because they are indigenous peoples, they don't have problems. They have problems like all of us,
Yes, right.
and they want to visit big cities, and like all of us.
Yeah.
That's the story of the humanity. And when we invite to them, or we try to visit different communities, the others say, no, we don't want to talk with this group. That's normal.
Yeah.
So, and we say, okay, we have this piece of land, and you can visit this area, and when you have problems between your communities, please visit us. Visit the center, no, the center, and find solutions. This is a neutral place in the middle of the different communities. So now they are doing that.
They are.
And
Oh,
let me
that's
say
wonderful.
one story. Pego is one of the,
Oh, I love him.
yes, he's one of the last healer, leader into the Guarani community in that area.
He's an international treasure, you know.
Fantastic.
He's a human treasure on this
Yes,
planet. Yeah.
yes. And because we have a little fridge and now we have electricity in the area,
Oh my goodness.
because we say the civilization is arriving there. And of course, Pego went to hunt an animal. And usually they smoke the meat or they eat all the meat, and that's all. They invite all the community and eat all together. So now they had a fridge in their own community, but it's run, and we have our fridge. And Pego is part of the center. He hunt the animal, and he brought and put into the fridge like the animal is, with hair, with blood, with the darts, with all, and put into and remove all our vegetables.
Oh,
And he said, I am a hunter, and now with all these new machines, I need to put in a place. So he put all the
big dead animal
into the fridge. We arrived and we saw the blood running, and he said, that is good luck. Don't worry. So we need to adapt to live with all these type of changes and differences and similarities that we can have.
Yeah.
And that is for me a good example how we can live using plants. We are not able to change things from the day to the night into our societies, but we can see those examples, like Pego trying to learn how to use the fridge.
I love
Yes,
that.
the same with the plants.
He's one of the oldest, he's really like one of probably the oldest people in that area, right? He's in his late 80s.
Yes.
And you would never know it. I mean, he's so vital and healthy. I remember when we were visiting you and with a group of people, young people, and he was going to show how to get the curarty from up in the tree, and he was teasing and taunting all the young boys to go up, you know, the way that they climb up that tree like that, and none of them could do it. And there he goes, this 80-year-old man, all the way up to the top of the tree, and he's laughing, you know, he's so full of joy and very beautiful, yeah.
Yes, and like they say, they don't use the name ayahuasca for ayahuasca because different tribes use the plants and have different names, and they say, me. He said, this is me. And he said, this is my lovely plant. And he respects a lot.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So are you teaching classes down at the Amoy Center? Are you going to be doing programs there if people wanted to come and study with you?
I think that I'm in the level that I'm learning from you, Rosemary. You are you changed my life forever.
Oh.
You put me into this, in the middle of the people who love and respect plants. And my compromise was to share and to learn the knowledge of the plants.
Yes.
You create this space for different people around the world. So I was thinking and say, yes, Yamoy will be for that goal.
Yeah.
Just teaching, not me, but the local people and different people, not only the local, but different people who wants to be there sharing and learning about uses of the plants in the tropical region.
You're creating a little, like a Sage Mantis Center down in the middle of the jungle. You know, the same thing, place where people from all around the world can come, and they get a very, very amazing experience. I've been there, and that's why I can speak of that. It's because there's no separation from that center to the rest of the habitat or the villages around it. It's not separated. It's one, like you say. It's a community, and it's a pretty remarkable. We've had some great experience. It's been a while, and we're looking forward to coming back and visiting you.
So we are going to create these different programs in benefit of the young generations there, because we are not able to live like an island.
Yeah.
They are changing. They want to go to the big cities, so we need to prepare these young people and the communities there, and for ourselves to learn how to live using the plants instead of cutting the forest.
I want to just ask you that question, because we see that in so many places that we travel where the older people are very despondent because the younger people don't want to learn from them, and the younger people are so attracted, like you say, the flash and the lights and you know, the big city energy, and are leaving. And so are you finding this by being there? Are you finding that the younger people are open to learning these lessons, or is there a receptivity to it?
Some are very receptive. We have a group of lovely girls. They want to learn.
Yeah.
They are in the age of 18, 19. They want to learn. Others, they want to go
That's right.
to the big cities or working in other environments. So it's good. But at the end, I can see that during this period, let's say 20 years, they're coming back.
They're coming back.
They're
So
coming
there's a
back.
shift. Yeah, that's what I see too. It's exactly what you say. It's not like all of them are eager to, follow the path of the plants or anything, but there does seem to be a renaissance of return, the coming home again. And that's because of people like doing the work that you're doing. So thank you so much, Rocio, really.
Yes.
Do you have any, is there anything that you want to just say before we finish that's of deep meaning for you?
Yes, I will say that really if our societies don't take in consideration the love for the plants, the meaning of love for these wonderful creatures, that they are our brothers and sisters, we are not going to go very fast or very long in this planet.
Because we're such a community with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
If somebody say, I don't use plants, it's a liar. Because even, I remember when I was in the school writing a letter, we need a pencil coming from the trees.
That's right.
And now we are sitting chairs coming from the trees.
Breathing in the air.
Breathing in the air. And when you breathe, you send the love for the plants, and you are saving the planet just only with that simple thought.
Yeah. And we're wearing the plants.
Yes, the color, the natural ink, the all the things.
And these, look, your jewelry is of the plants.
Yes, this was made for one of my lovely Ashua friends coming from the forest.
Yeah.
How many plants we use in a simple necklace?
Yeah.
When you sit in the middle of the living room in your homes, please think how many plants you are using to feel comfortable, and send love to the planet. Immediately you will change your behavior.
That right there, just if we did that every day, at least 50 times. Yes. I'd love to just tell one story, a fun story about Rocio, if you don't mind. And it was one time when Rocio was at the International Herb Symposium, and she was coming home to our house afterwards to visit, and our dear friend Cascade, Anderson Geller, who's also a very well-known herbalist, was visiting, and we planned some great hikes. We were going to hike up this big mountain to Camel's Hump, and Cascade, of course, was very grumpy because she had hurt her knee pretty badly, and like most of us, she just expected it would get better, and she would be, after a few weeks, and it would be better, but she wasn't taking care of it, so it was getting a little worse, and by the time she came to visit, her knee was quite swollen, and she was feeling grumpy because she couldn't go on that hike with us, and Cascade loves being out in nature. And so I was such a beautiful moment in time. Rocio said, well, I do the herbal baths, these healing baths, and we'll do the limpia, the cleansing with the herbs. And so Rocio went into my garden, and like any great healer, even though her favorite herbs weren't down there, like the ones that if she was at home that she might use, she chose the ones that were there that was speaking to her. And she came back with a beautiful bundle, a wand they're called, and we sat out on the porch, and she, just sang, and she bathed, and she did her prayers and did the limpia over the leg, and Cascade just sat there and she was drinking it up, she was loving it. And Cascade is one of those healers that is always doing for others and really doesn't allow much to be done for her in this way. And sure enough, when Rocio got done, Cascade's leg for the first time in really literally weeks was feeling so much better. She wanted to go hiking with us. She probably could have, but we decided it wasn't such a good idea just to let the healing set in. But the remarkable power, and Rocio will say, of course, it was the remarkable power of the plants, and it was definitely that, but it's also the relationship that you have with the plants for certain. And I think it's a skill that everybody can learn, but it does take a lifetime to really, master that communication and that relationship that you have with them. So you've been a wonderful, powerful teacher to me, Rocio, and I love you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, darling. And keep on rubbing chocolate on. I love watching you in workshops. These really proper people who would never in their life, especially in places like New England, who will take their clothes off and put their hands into this chocolatey, gorgeous, sensuous mess. And even my mother, my 87-year-old mother, was massaging her breasts with chocolate and just feeling so great about it. And there's not many people who can work that magic. It's delightful. Thank you.